Let's talk about something we all do. It's this deep gut instinct we have, right? When someone challenges you or questions a decision you made, what's the first thing you do? You defend yourself. You start explaining, justifying, laying out all your reasons. But what if I told you that very instinct is a huge strategic mistake? What if defending yourself is actually how you give away all your power? You know the feeling, right? Your boss questions your report, a friend makes one of those little passive-aggressive comments, or maybe a family member puts you on the spot at dinner, and you can feel it building up inside. This immediate, almost burning need to justify what you did, to make them get it. It literally feels like you're in a trap, and the only way out is to talk your way out. Well, here's the thing. That feeling, it's spot on. It is a trap, and the moment you open your mouth to start explaining, you've pretty much already lost. We can call this the self-defense trap, and it's a social dynamic that just quietly drains you of your status. And here's exactly what that looks like. As soon as you begin explaining yourself, you are, without saying a word, agreeing to a set of roles. They get to be the judge and jury, and you've just volunteered to be the defendant. They get to sit back and pass judgment while you're stuck pleading your case, basically begging for their approval. You've just handed them all the power on a silver platter. This brings us to the absolute core idea of this whole thing. It's a really powerful and honestly a pretty counterintuitive thought that can completely flip how you see these little power struggles. Just let that one sink in for a second. The one who explains is the one who submits. Every single word you use to justify yourself just reinforces their higher status in that moment. You're basically submitting to their reality, agreeing that, yeah, they do have the right to question you, and you do have an obligation to answer them. To put an official name on it, what's happening is you're getting caught in the defendant frame. Think of it like a pop-up courtroom. One person's a prosecutor, and you're suddenly on trial. But here's the crucial part. You can only be put on trial if you agree to take the stand. And explaining, well, that's you taking the stand. So, the million-dollar question is, if this trap is everywhere, how in the world do you get out of it? How do you refuse to play the part of the defendant and flip that power dynamic right back where it belongs? All right, so the solution is a beautifully simple but incredibly effective technique. Let's call it Machiavelli's power flip. It's all about recognizing the game that's being played and simply choosing not to play by their rules. And it all breaks down into 3 simple steps. First, you've got to get good at recognizing when someone is trying to put you in that defendant frame. Second, and listen, this is the hardest part, you have to physically and mentally resist that powerful urge to start talking. And then third, you just employ strategic silence. You just don't answer the accusation. You can hold their eye contact and just wait. And the result of doing this? Oh, it's night and day. Look, when you explain, your status drops like a rock, and theirs goes way up. But when you stay silent, something incredible happens. Their power is just neutralized. The whole frame they tried to build just collapses, and your status, your perceived authority actually goes up because you've just shown you don't need anyone's validation. You know, learning this technique isn't really about winning an argument. It's about fundamentally changing how you move through the world and about protecting your own authority. And the payoff you get from the silence is just huge. First, it projects this unshakable confidence. It also puts the pressure back on them. It kind of forces them to either back down, rephrase, or maybe even justify why they asked such a loaded question in the first place. You keep your high status, and you instantly get control of the conversation back. You're not reacting anymore. You are in command. Please remember this. Your silence is not passive. It is not an absence of a response. It is the response. It's a powerful, active statement that says, I don't buy the premise of your question, and I certainly don't need to justify myself to you. So the next time you feel that pressure building, that urge to explain, to defend, to justify yourself, just stop and ask yourself this. Are you about to step into their frame as the defendant, or are you going to hold your own frame with the simple power of strategic silence? The choice is always yours.